Yeah, I think when I got into real estate, I just wanted to sell. I thought, I'm just going to go sell. And I think most agents think, hey, I'll get my license, I'll go sell homes, and it's going to be beautiful. And then they realize, wait a minute, they've got to actually have to operate. Like they have taxes to pay, they have systems to run. And if they don't set up processes and systems, they are going to fail.
If they don't have those models and systems,
Yeah.
they're going to fail.
All right, well, welcome back to the Hamiltons Unlocked, and I have a very, very special guest that I can't wait to introduce to the world. So tell me who you are, how you got into real estate, because obviously this is a real estate podcast, and how you got here today.
Well, my name is Melba Franklin. I've been in real estate since 1978.
Wow, that was the year I was born, Melba, not to date you by any
Thank you.
means.
Oh, that's okay. You were born in...
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. That means your real estate license must have a 1 behind it.
It is. Somebody called me the other day and told me I was a oneer, and we went on and talked, and a little bit later I said, what's a oneer? Excuse me, he called me a fiver.
Oh, a 5er.
And
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either. I said, I am so confused. What's a fiver? And he said, you don't know? And I went, no. He said, a fiver is you only have 5 digits in your license number. So it doesn't start
true.
with 1.
Yeah, I guess I have 6. Yeah.
So I'm a fiver.
You're a fiver.
Nonetheless, I'm Melba Franklin. I've been in real estate since 1978. Actually got in real estate at the encouragement of somebody at our church. I had worked in corporate world and got into real estate and loved it. Started out with Century 21, who was the owner, was a deacon in our church, and he's the one that encouraged me to get into real estate. I was a real estate agent and moved from Century 21 to Coa Banker, and then got my broker's license after being at Coa Banker. And actually, they asked me to become a broker and manage an office, and I managed an office. They wanted me, we learned location, and they asked me to be, I turned down several, but then they asked me to be the broker at this new mall in Gwinnett County. It was Gwinnett Mall was new. So I did, and then I went from there to RE/MAX, was with RE/MAX for 16 years, and then in 2011, I went to Keller Williams, and today I'm with Keller Williams.
Well, fantastic. You have definitely done, and you won't brag on yourself, but you've been a top real estate agent. You've managed the top brokerage firms in Atlanta for years. You've handled the best agents, the best brokers. You've been the president of the association, Realtor Association?
I was president of the Atlanta Board in 2006, and then I was president of the 400 North Board as well.
Well, I think anybody that knows you, and for me, myself, I met you when I started in real estate in 2007. You are an icon. I think that word gets used a lot with you. But another word that gets used with you that people say, they call you Mama Melba. How the heck did that come into place? Jenny asked me last night, she said, when did Melba get Mama Melba? And I said, I don't know.
Good question.
But that's how everyone knows you.
Yes, people call me at the office Mama Melba. I think it's out of respect.
Okay.
I think it's my age, and they're uncomfortable calling me Melba, but I've been Mama Melba with a lot of people for a long time.
Yeah. Well, listen, if there's anything in real estate that anyone has a question on, that anyone needs to have advice on how to negotiate or strategize, there's not a better person to talk to than you. So you're probably at the top, at the peak of a Mount Rushmore as far as real estate is concerned.
Well, thank you.
And you have that respect in Atlanta and further than Atlanta too. All right, so let's get into some questions I want to ask you. So you started in 78 and worked through the 80s, and interest rates at those times were at all-time high, and you found a way to succeed. Top agents and buyers feel like this market right now is unprecedented, right? Very different. So you've been in it for over 40 years. You've seen the market go up and down. From your perspective, Melba, what is actually different today than when you started in late 70s?
One big thing that's made a change since the 80s is technology.
Yeah.
We didn't have cell phones. We were in a slow-paced world. Today is quick and fast. And so it was a lot different. We didn't have buyer agency. So technology, buyer agency changed everything from today. It's very hard to compare the two. You made a reference to the interest rates. Yeah, the interest rates when I was agent of the year were 18%.
Yeah, people don't realize that right now it's an incredible rate compared to when you started, right?
Correct.
18%. Gosh.
18.
I don't even want to think what that would do to my mortgage payment.
Exactly. But prices were a lot lower too.
Yeah. So technology has changed things. Buyer agency has changed things. What do you see agents do today, top producers do, that make them successful, that would have made them successful in the 80s also?
Well, in the 80s, it was slow paced.
Yeah.
But we didn't run it like a business. Today, if the difference is in what we teach agents, it's a business.
Yeah.
We never thought of that.
What do you mean by that? When you say a business, what does that mean to you?
Literally,
Yeah.
It's a business. When we did it was a job, and we worked hard. We worked harder than you do today, actually, because technology makes it easier. But by running it like a business, you have to think like a business. You know, you have to have models and systems.
Yeah.
You have to have a mission and a vision. We didn't think of all those things in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when I got into real estate, I just wanted to sell. I thought, I'm just going to go sell. And I think most agents think, hey, I'll get my license, I'll go sell homes, and it's going to be beautiful. And then they realize, wait a minute, they actually have to operate. Like, they have taxes to pay, and they have systems to run. And if they don't set up processes and systems, they are going to fail.
If they don't have those models and systems,
Yeah.
they're going to fail.
Yeah.
But when most people get started, they do not know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've seen agents get in and get out. I think the average lifespan of a real estate agent is maybe 5 years, according to NAR. What is a mindset that you've had to be successful that you think other agents that can last? What does that mindset look like?
That mindset would have to be, consistency.
Yeah.
Get your head out of the hole and look up. People need to keep on keeping on. They get discouraged and they walk away. Somebody hurts their feelings. Somebody says something. It's not easy. It's tough because you're working with people, and people sometimes cannot be nice.
Sure.
So it's just a keeping on. And a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah. One thing I admire and respect about you is the older that you get, you don't become just set in your ways. You're always trying to learn and adapt and change. And I think when I started with you, that was one thing. The market crashed. It was 2007, 2008. And I'll never forget watching agents leave the business because they couldn't change with it. And that was something that you taught me. Hey, the market is going to always change. And if you don't change with it, you're going to be gone. So I learned how to do short sales and, work with buyers at the time and have difficult conversations. So that was something that you've taught me that I think you continue to teach people.
Thank you.
That's
I
great.
think if you don't grow, you stop. I don't want to stop growing. I love reading. I love learning.
Yeah. Well, I need to be more of a reader like you. I'm definitely not that. Okay. The number one mistake that agents make right now, you've coached and managed obviously thousands of agents. What is the single biggest mistake that you see agents making in this market today?
Getting too involved emotionally, putting themselves first. I think that's where they make the biggest mistake. And then their client that they're working with sees that and they get discouraged.
Okay, getting too involved emotionally, what does that look like when an agent does that?
Means they're not thinking in their head like a business. They're not you need to think, you need to represent your client. When you're doing that, it's sort of like, I started to say servanthood, but that goes with leadership. But you're representing the client. You need to think, you need to pay attention, you need to communicate. When you get emotionally involved, you make mistakes. When you get emotionally involved, you're not really taking care of the client. You're not really doing what you need to be doing.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, and this is something I've had to learn, when you get emotional, it's your ego oftentimes that gets in the way, and you're thinking it's about you.
It's about
and
yourself.
You forget the perspective that it's actually about your client.
And that's what a lot of agents do.
Is that a learned skill, or is that something you think people come into this business with, or do you have to teach them that?
No, I think it's definitely something you can learn. I definitely do. Because when agents call me and they have a problem and I say, stop.
You're great about this, by the way.
Well, sometimes to a default. I say, stop. Is this more, are you really putting the hat on and representing your client? Or are you thinking about yourself? Because all of us have emotional issues at home and around us, and we have things we deal with.
Yeah, we don't work in a vacuum, I guess, right?
We don't.
Yeah.
That's very well said. And so as a result, sometimes you let all of those things around you get in your head, And as a result, you don't make the right decisions or give the client that you're working with the right advice. So I do think it can be learned, because that's when we have coaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the coach can sort of guide you, stop. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then you learn through that. I don't think if you don't have a coach, sometimes that's where you get lost.
Yeah.
Because that's who you are all the time. But you need to have somebody to talk you out of that and say, stop for just a minute.
You mentioned coaching, and that's something I think would maybe be foreign to a lot of people in this world. Coach, what does that mean? Obviously, I understand a basketball coach. I played sports my whole life. What is a coach, and how does that work within real estate?
It's a great question. Coaches, if you really wanted to go on a diet, if you really wanted to exercise, you can go to the gym, right?
Yes, I try.
Okay, I got it. But have you ever thought about getting a coach to help you lose weight, or a coach to help you tone your muscles? It's the same thing. If you really want to do the best, you have to get a coach.
Yeah.
We all need coaches. It doesn't matter where you are in the spectrum. Your point you just said was, it's sort of a new word.
Yeah.
And it is, but today everybody needs a coach, period.
I didn't believe in coaching until we started having a coach, and then I started seeing that they can see holes and things in your business that you're doing that can really help point you in the right direction and help think outside of a box, or help think outside of how you think. So it's been beneficial for us. It is. Yeah, you're right. Accountability. That's a good word. What does that mean to you, Melba?
Well, this is my philosophy of accountability. I definitely want it, but I don't.
Yeah. I don't like it. I
I don't like it. I want it and I need it.
Yeah.
And I really do, but I don't want it and I don't like it.
Yeah.
So, but what is accountability? It pushes you to be what you need to be.
And I think real estate agents are probably the most, they get into the business because they want to do things their way. They don't want anybody to tell them what to do. And then they start to not succeed because they're sleeping in late, or they're not doing the things that they should do. And so having somebody hold them accountable to a schedule and to follow certain, patterns that they don't have that a job would maybe give them.
True.
Is always really good.
True.
Okay, Melba, let's shift gears. You've seen agents have quick success and then disappear. You've seen agents build 20-year careers. What now in this world, when you're talking to agents, what allows them to maintain and to build a long-term career? We've already talked about some of those things, but is there anything that you would think this is what you need to be able to do to last 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? What are the 20-year agents doing that the first-year agents aren't?
Basics. Sometimes when you get very successful and you get to doing things, we get off the things that really got us to where we are.
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
And so, if I'm coaching somebody or helping somebody, it's always the basics.
Yeah.
And if you want to be successful in real estate, first of all, I'm going to say, do you have a business? Where's your database?
Yep.
How are you feeding it? I mean, those are the basic things that you learned right off the bat. But as we get, you can have it leveraged a little bit when you start getting very successful.
Yeah.
But it's still the basics. And so if there was one thing, it would be consistency. You've got to be consistent with that. You can't stop doing that. Just because some people start getting business.
Yep.
Once they get business, they say, well, I don't need to do that anymore.
Right.
Wrong.
Right. Yeah. What's the number one job of a real estate agent? Is to lead generate constantly.
Constantly.
And to be consistent at doing that.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. When I started in the business, that was something that I learned from you. But the other thing that I learned from you that you're so good at, that I think has given you such a long career, is relationships. This business is about the people. And you've brought that up a couple times already with making sure we're taking care of our clients. But, that's something that you model so well, is building relationships. You're the type person that when you're with me, or when you're with Jenny or whoever, you make me feel like I'm very important, very special. And that's something I think that great real estate agents can take, or great leaders can take into what they do. Would you agree?
You're going to make me emotional. I do. I agree with you. Leadership. Now we're getting out of real estate.
Yes, and we are going to get into some leadership.
Okay, but you just did that.
Yeah, I did.
And that's called servanthood. Well, there's a big difference between leadership and leadership is not managing.
Yeah, tell me the difference, because I do want to talk about, you went from being a successful agent, crushing it in that world, to then crushing it in the leadership, managing broker world, to where you are today. because of relationships. But what is the difference in managing, the difference in being an agent and being some sort of a leader?
It was hard for me to go from being, first of all, when you're in real estate, you're not a leader, you're a salesperson. And then I got into managing, and companies have different definitions of what their head of the office is. And so I was a managing broker. And so I managed the office. I managed people. Well, then I was a lot older when I finally came to Keller Williams, and I started, of course, John Maxwell is one of my favorite people. And I love his books. And managing and leadership are very, very different. You don't manage when you're leading. Leading, as I said, is stewardship. It's relationships, really listening to the person and helping them grow, not you. So the first few years I went from agent to managing, I'm not going to lie, it was hard. I didn't win awards. My agents did. And I remember somebody standing by me and said, one day, when the people walk across stage and you're sad it's not you, you'll be more proud of them than you were of you. So when you see your children, I got you, didn't I?
Yes, because I was thinking I would not be more proud to watch other people walk across the stage, but when you say my kids, I would.
I rest my case.
Yeah.
When it gets to that point to where when you see the people that you have worked with and trained and held their hand, when they are successful, like Scott Hamilton, oh my God, it's as good as it being one of your children. And when you reach that, that's leadership. But it takes a time. It doesn't happen. It's a study. Because I managed for so long.
Yeah. Well, now I understand the name Mama Melba. You became the mama to all of the great real estate agents, and you see them as your kids.
Me.
Yeah. All right, Melba. Well, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for being here, for answering all our questions, and for giving us such great advice. And that ends part 1 of my time with you, and we will pick it up with part 2 on the next episode.
That's scary.
It is scary.